Good morning and welcome to another episode of Drew's Book Reviews. So today we are reviewing Greg Iles' True Evil. Now I actually found this copy of this book. It was discarded and thrown along the side of a road, left there to basically fall apart, and I thought, well, I should rescue that book because I can't stand the idea of someone just throwing out a book like that. I mean, at least give it to the library or something. Anyway, I had never actually read Greg Iles' book before, to be completely honest. I never even heard the author's name until I found this book discarded along the side of the road, so I thought I'd pick it up, add it to my collection, and now I have actually gone around to reading Greg Iles' True Evil for this book. So, kind of got mixed feelings about this one, honestly. Yeah, there's some good, there's some bad. What I'll do here is maybe just kind of start out with the bad, essentially, and then we'll move on to the good to kind of wrap things up on a better note there. To be completely honest, the title, I didn't really care for the title, True Evil. Um, it's, to me, it's not very imaginative. It's pretty cliche, and I think we could have done a lot better with the title of the book itself. There was a big aspect of the storyline that involved snakes, hence the snake on the book cover. You know, a title that had something to do with snakes would have been much more appropriate. I think would have been a better, more imaginative title um, to the overall storyline, like Snakes in the Bed or something like that. Definitely would have been good because snakes themselves have also kind of become this symbol of evil, representing the devil and evil influence straight from the biblical days, and it's kind of been adopted as a universal symbol of evil in a way. So that actually probably would have been a better, more imaginative title if we went something with snakes in the title. I honestly think. I also kind of found the idea of your spouse is cheating on you a bit cliche. I mean, that's been done so many times. And I certainly don't discount the fact that perhaps that's a really good motivation for murder, for crime, that kind of thing. It's a bit cliche and a bit overdone. Uh, so some of the other issues I kind of had with this book is that we know who the killers are early on. So it is it's a murder thriller. It's definitely not a murder mystery. It's a murder thriller. We know who the killers are early on within the story. So there's really no mystery there. Um, and it's pretty much almost right from the start, we discover that. And the main story revolves around FBI agent Alex Morse, who is dealing with her mother dying of cancer, her sister recently dying, and her sister telling her that she'd been murdered by her husband, and she needs Alex to find out how did it and to keep her son safe. And during Alex's investigation, he soon discovers that a local doctor, Dr. Shepard, is very likely going to be the next victim of this plot. Essentially, it revolves around this idea, and more than just some possible spoiler alerts, though, on this, but essentially, it seems to revolve around this idea of a doctor and a lawyer working together to kill off rich clients who want to divorce their spouses, and they're killing off their clients' spouses so that they can inherit their clients stand to inherit millions of dollars while saving millions in litigation through divorce court and things like that. That's the basic concept, which actually I think is a really good concept. I like the idea that's presented in this book. I just honestly didn't care for the way the story was executed in that sense. Like even one of the suicides of one of this divorce lawyer named Rusk, I believe, one of his clients whose death was set up to look like a suicide, except that we have the entire murder scene within the book itself of what's happening and how it was set up and how it was accomplished to pull off to look like a suicide, which to me just kind of takes away from the whole idea of mystery. Now, if they had just found this client's body dead in an apparent suicide and left it at that, leaving the reader to wonder, well, was it really suicide? or was he actually murdered in some mysterious, untraceable way? And just, there was no mystery here. Every conclusion Dr. Shepard and Agent Morse came to seemed to be the correct conclusions as to how things were happening and what was happening. And this Dr. Tarver, who's working with the divorce attorney Andrew Rusk, now just kind of move on to the good part of it. Won't harp too much on the lack of mystery or story execution, though definitely I think could have been done better. The good part, I love Dr. Tarver's character. He is the doctor working with the divorce attorney Andrew Rusk. He's really got this mad scientist vibe, which I thought was great. Just the way he was experimenting on different animals, the way he has pseudonyms and cover aliases, and just the whole mad scientist vibe, which I thought was really, really good. And Andrew Rusk, I think, had who is the divorce attorney in this book. He had some really good motivations for what he did. I think that his character was a well written character overall. I enjoyed uh, his aspect of that. His motivation there to be able to make a lot of money off of his clients without lengthy court processes and working with the doctor. So, I mean, definitely money is a factor. Money is a great motivator. Greed is a great motivator. And I thought that he did a really good job writing the character of Andrew Tarver. I really enjoyed the character of Alex Morse as well. Her backstory about being a hostage negotiator with the FBI, the trauma that she's experienced in the past, the stress that she's under now, all of that kind of coming together to form her character. Definitely, I think there were some really good, believable characters in the writing overall. And it's a good story flow as well. I do enjoy, or did enjoy the story flow and the pace at which it moved along. It is definitely a fast-paced, intense story. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of action going along. Investigate. I really kind of enjoyed reading that investigative process that our characters, Dr. Shepard and Alex Morris, went through. That was really done. I just kind of wish there was more mystery to it. Which, there's a more false trails, breadcrumbs, leading us to false conclusions or false suspects or some kind of a lot more mystery wrapped up in it, rather than everybody knowing everything at the beginning, including our characters. Even our main characters, Alex Morris and Dr. Shepard, they knew who was responsible for these murders from the start. They just couldn't prove it. And so the story is more about them gathering and collecting evidence to prove that the killers are in fact the killers. But there's no mystery as to who the killers are, which I think would have been a much better way to put it. A much better way to work it, even laying false breadcrumbs and that sort of thing. But overall, it's kind of a mixed review. There's some good, there's some bad, which is certainly why it's not going to get like a 5-star rating, maybe a 3-star rating if you check out my Goodreads. That's kind of where I put that. But definitely, it wasn't so bad that I wouldn't read any more of his books. But definitely some mixed reviews on this one. So those are just some of my thoughts about Greg Iles' True Evil. And hopefully next time I get a Greg Iles book, I'll have some better things to say about it, because people all over are telling me that he's a great author, a wonderful writer. They love his stuff. But I just kind of got mixed feelings on this one in particular. Maybe it's just this book and the other ones are much better. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So those are just my thoughts there on True Evil. And of course, as always, stay tuned for my next review. I'm finally picking up some Terry Pratchett, The Color of Magic. I've heard so much about Terry Pratchett. Everybody says he's awesome, and I can't even believe it. I've never read Terry Pratchett. Well, it's about time we get started, so stay tuned for that. Terry Pratchett, Color of Magic, first book in the Discworld series. And as always, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Links to all my social media platforms will be in the description below. So we've got Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Goodreads, MeWe. So definitely stay tuned for that, and of course WordPress as well. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the links to all my social media platforms below. Follow me there. And we will see you next time on the next episode of Drew's Book Reviews. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.